another incentive. There is generally a negative perspective about business all over the world. Our endeavor in this direction about CSR is definitely one effort to try to change this approach, but along with that, there has to be a concerted effort from the whole business community to have a high level of awareness of the community at large, of the population at large. It has to be complementary. Business cannot do it by itself. I believe this is where it ends, and thank you very much for the audience, and let's enjoy the day. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tarek. Well, good to hear that there are such hopeful signs also in Egypt. Also good to hear that there will be a CSR unit within the Federation. That might be interesting also for today to explore what opportunities there are for collaboration, of course, in that area. Finally, it's my pleasure to invite Dr. Abdel Latif to also do a keynote speech this morning for opening the conference.
Good morning to all of you. Excellency, Gerard Streeks, Ambassador of the Kingdom of the Netherlands, Mrs. Anita Nirodi, Resident Representative, UNDP, Mr. Tarek Tawfiq, Vice Chairman of the Federation, ladies and gentlemen, good morning to all of you. I'm here with you on behalf of His Excellency, Mr. Munir Fakhri Abdel-Noor, Minister of Industry, Trade and SMEs, who's obviously extremely interested in CSR because it's an extremely important topic, but he will not be with you because of other commitments. When we talk CSR, the implementation of CSR practices has always been associated with big companies, okay? Not with small companies, with multinational enterprises. And it's all coming out of pressure by governments and consumers to address issues of pollution, environmental degradation, inadequate working conditions in production, sourcing and delivery processes, or human rights issues. Now, more recently, there is a growing interest and need to look at the entire value chain from primary production to consumption and disposal, and specifically to the SMEs that are involved in this entire process. Bringing it to SMEs and the CSR pressure, calling for improvements of SMEs makes this particular event especially important. The importance of today's event starts with the fact that it comes in a very timely way, just as my colleague Tarek just pointed out. The Dutch experience in that area is quite impressive. I have seen it firsthand, visited the beautiful country, and I've seen the companies and their performance, and it's extremely impressive. So the Dutch approach is definitely going to be useful for Egypt. The subsectors that are chosen, the textiles, the tourism, and the agri-food, they are extremely important for Egypt. They are big employers and they are important sectors where we already have a comparative advantage, and definitely enforcing CSR and pushing for CSR is going to help these sectors. CSR, by the way, is one of the issues on which a specific article was written in the Constitution. In our Constitution, we have an article on CSR and how we want to encourage it. I had the honor to be part of the committee that wrote the Constitution, and this is one of the articles that received a lot of attention. And at the time when we talked about it, some discussions, some people were saying we need to push for CSR, we need to push the private sector to CSR, force it to do CSR. Okay, but then the article was written in a different way after the discussion, and that's we need to motivate the private sector to go for CSR. You cannot force them, you have to motivate it, you have to create the incentives for it. Having said this, let me tell you a little bit about what we are doing in the ministry, okay, to support the SMEs, since the fact that the conference is talking about these sectors, and most of our enterprises are SMEs, and CSR is having implications, positive implications on SMEs as well. Let me tell you a bit what we are doing there. Lately, the title of our ministry has extended significantly. It used to be two nice short words, trade and industry. Now it's industry and trade and small and medium enterprises. Okay, it's a nice long name, okay? And comes with the name a lot of responsibility, but also comes with it a lot of potential benefit for the SMEs. SMEs have always been of interest in Egypt for many, many years, of interest in the entire world, a very fashionable topic. Okay? It was of interest in Egypt, but very little was happening. There are lots of funds that are allocated to it, whether we're talking about the social fund or any other institution, lots of funds are available, and yet we look at the results and we find very limited results. Okay? Very, very limited, far from impressive and far from the potential that can exist. And the question has been why. Okay? One of the most important issues is that each one of these institutions was operating in complete isolation from everybody else. Everybody had a unit, all ministries had a unit talking about SMEs, and there was hardly anything happening in any of them. Okay? Yet, everybody's talking SMEs, but there are no results in SMEs. With the ministry, at this point, with the fact that we have SMEs officially under our wing, it means that the social fund is under the wing of the Ministry of Industry, and it also means that you have the full set of institutions that are working with SMEs. And these are now the social fund, the Industrial Modernization Center, the training center, the vocational training center. These are the three main institutions that are working with SMEs. If they're all falling under the same umbrella, it means that we have a natural institutional framework for operating with SMEs, which is the part that was missing. And this immediately